Good morning, everybody. Thank you. Welcome to our Lifer Assembly. I want to give a specifically warm welcome to our Lifers, and indeed to all their parents and siblings, maybe grandparents are here as well. One of the things that's fantastic about a kindergarten through 12th grade school are the connections that can be made between the younger students and older students. And as we move away more from the pandemic, I'm looking forward to those connections being made in the years to come. Where's the little kindergarten? Where's kindergarten? Can you give us a wave? Can you look behind you and give everybody a wave? Yeah, there we go. And where's the fourth grade? A bit more confident. Fourth graders, you were our first class of kindergartners ever. Okay, so just an interesting little point there that we haven't always had kindergarten, but we do now. I'm going to hand over to Mr. Pollicino, the head of the upper school, but once again, Lifers, congratulations, parents, grandparents, siblings, thank you so much for your support over these many years, support in so many ways that I don't need to detail. I'm sure you're very aware of some of the support you've given us over the last 13 years. Thank you so much. Mr. Pollicino.
Good morning. Welcome to our Lifer ceremony. It's wonderful to have so many faces in here with us this year, something we've missed the last couple years. Congratulations to our Lifers over here to my left, who've experienced a decade on the Bullis campus unlike any other. Each of our 11 Lifers have found a way to persevere and find success on our campus in their own unique ways, while also supporting their classmates and the school community. When your parents, who are joined with us today as well, brought you to Bullis in September of 2012, they entrusted us to serve you and to meet your needs for 10 years. That trust has been put to the test over the last 24 months. I believe all of us are stronger for these experiences. As you prepare to depart our campus and embark on new journeys, new challenges, and new opportunities on a new campus, I am confident that we have prepared you. The past 10 years have been quite remarkable for all of you. With that in mind, I'd like to take us back to the 2012-2013 academic year to honor our Lifers and see what was happening a decade ago. On Tuesday, September 6, 2012, Bullis embarked on its 81st school year. Our third grade was met warmly by then lower school principal Miss Kelly and Bullis head of school Dr. Borman. Our boys basketball team would earn their second straight IAC championship that year. Our girls soccer, field hockey, and lacrosse teams would capture championships in the ISL A division, and girls basketball won the ISL AA division. While we continued to focus on ensuring the safety and well-being of our students here at Bullis, we faced growing concerns for our nation and abroad. In September, a series of terrorist attacks were launched on American diplomatic missions worldwide. Parents and educators across the nation are devastated as we learn of the news at Sandy Hook Elementary School. The UN Climate Change Conference that year would extend the Kyoto Protocol until 2020, but of course that occurs after Hurricane Sandy wreaks havoc on the eastern seaboard, over $50 million in damage to 24 states. In November, President Obama is reelected for a second term that year. In the spring of 2013, the World Health Organization identifies a novel coronavirus in the Middle East, something I did not know but certainly found interesting in result of our current times. And Edward Snowden releases confidential information to news outlets and flees the country. Something that our Lifers were excited about. Xbox One is released and will compete against Sony PlayStation 4 that year. Google Chromecast is available for streaming of Netflix and YouTube, and Google Glass is shared. You could pick up a pair of them for only $1,500. Not to be left out of the growing tech field, of course, Apple surprises us with the iPad Air. NCIS and NCIS Los Angeles are the two top-rated shows on TV. Sunday Night Football is hovering around the top spot as well. Our need for reality TV continues. Vanderpump Rules, the American Baking Competition, and Storage Wars all debut that year. And Netflix will shake up the weekly TV audience with the debut of House of Cards. Avengers is a top-grossing movie, and Argo wins the Academy Award for Best Film. The top song of 2012 was Somebody I Used to Know, and for the second year in a row, Adele has the top-selling album. 50 Shades of Grey was Amazon's top-selling book, which means something different to different audience members. And Halo 4 is a top-selling video game. The Washington Redskins, now the Commanders, entered their 81st year of competition with Mike Shanahan in year 3 as head coach. The team drafted RG3, and although the year did not start out well, they end on a 7-year winning streak, finishing 10-6 and advancing to the playoffs after capturing the NFC East title. They would lose in the wild card round of the playoffs to the Seattle Seahawks. The Washington Wizards began the year with lots of excitement, with Bradley Beal joining John Wall in the backcourt. The excitement was short-lived as the team finishes 29-53, missing the playoffs yet again. The NHL season is cut in half due to a lockout, but that does not stop the Washington Capitals from a great year, finishing first in the Southeast Division. They would lose to the Rangers for the second year in a row in the playoffs, but Alex Ovechkin leads the team and the NHL in goals scored, earning MVP honors. Later that spring, the Washington Nationals would start their year off with a bang. Bryce Harper becomes the youngest player ever at 20 years old to hit 2 home runs on opening day. The Nats would finish second in the NL East, but miss the playoffs. In October of 2012, the San Francisco Giants would sweep the Detroit Tigers to win the World Series. The Ravens defeated the 49ers 34-31 to win the Super Bowl. In June, LeBron and the Miami Heat win their second straight title over the San Antonio Spurs, and the Chicago Blackhawks defeat the Boston Bruins for the Stanley Cup. On the college front, the Louisville Cardinals win the NCAA men's tournament, although their victory is later vacated due to a scandal in the program. UConn will win the NCAA women's tournament that year. Oil and gas prices fluctuated throughout the year, from a low of $75 a barrel to a high of $111. Today, a barrel is down to $95. The average gallon of gas was $3.64. It's up to $4.43 a gallon today and continues to hover due to obvious reasons. We are a different world now than we were then, but our commitment to our students has not wavered. During the changes over the past decade, our lifers have been guided and led by wonderful teachers, coaches, directors, and of course, our caring parents who clearly value a Bullis education. Our lifers have changed since they first walked through the doors of South Hall, and I would now like to welcome them to the stage. Please come and sit when your name is called. Lily Bernstein. Julian Christensen. Jillian Cohen. Andrew Dixon. Ava Drescher. Julia Evans. Demi Fragianis. Robbie Hayes. Billy Helmig. Sebastian Michail. Cali Satin. Our 11 lifers have spent 10 years on our campus. They have moved from section to section here in Howard Auditorium, the same way they moved from the top floor of South Hall to the bottom floor, onto the Blair Arts Center, and of course, the Discovery Center in North Hall. It is terrific to honor our lifers this morning with our program. I would now like to introduce our head of lower school, Miss Margaret Andreadis, who will share a few words about our students, and we can see how much they've changed.
Good morning, and welcome to the Lifers celebration, a time when we recognize and celebrate the special group of 11 students who have attended Bullis since the 3rd grade. This ceremony complements the acorn assembly that we had last October. We will present each lifer with an oak tree sapling grown from acorns. This gift continues the tradition of recognizing growth and maturity during your time at Bullis. I am sure you each will cherish them as you remember your time at Bullis in your hearts. I will say a few words about what each graduate was like back in the 2012-2013 school year, the year these lifers entered Bullis. It is with warm regard that I cherish this class. I had the pleasure of being one of their 3rd grade teachers. 10 years ago, these students loved coming to school each day and having fun learning. Lifers, as I read these comments, I hope you remember your beginning year at Bullis with joy. Lily Bernstein. Lily, come get your sapling. Lily B, come get your sapling. I say Lily B with affection because that year we had another Lily also, and they wound up being both in the same class, so we had to designate. But I say it very affectionately, Lily B. Lily was a happy little 3rd grader who loved Bullis from the first day of school. She loved her new classmates and peers. Social is an understatement in terms of personality traits. Lily was a hard worker. She put her best into her reading and writing and enjoyed historical fiction. Lily was a confident mathematician. She enjoyed learning about plants and presenting science experiments in Wixie. Do you remember Wixie? Lily worked collaboratively to author and illustrate pages in our class book on Mexico in social studies. Her art, music, and Spanish teachers noted that she begins each project or activity with enthusiasm and joy. Her natural acting abilities were evident in the 3rd grade performance of Comfort Cafe. In PE, it was noted that she did incredibly well in the football and field hockey units. Julian Christensen. Julian was a strong reader and excellent writer. He demonstrated a unique voice in his pieces, and he especially enjoyed the poetry unit. Julian exceeded almost all benchmarks in math for computation, fractions, and geometry. He was an avid participant in science discussions, and especially discussions about the fragility of our environment. Julian's culminating social studies project was on Germany, as it was well organized and presented to the class. In art, Julian was an enthusiastic learner who became invested in each project. He surprised his music teacher with his extensive musical knowledge. He had a strong singing voice and did an excellent job in Comfort Cafe. Julian came to Bullis with a solid background in Spanish. He eagerly participated in activities with curiosity and a positive attitude. Jillian Cohen. Jillian blossomed in third grade. She entered disliking reading. Jillian said it was like a chore. After having Jillian in my reading group, she began to see reading as fun and found success with her connections to characters and their experiences. Jillian embraced poetry and wrote beautiful pieces. She enjoyed geometry, but not so much fractions and word problems. Jillian created an excellent presentation on Spain for her independent research project. In social studies, she participated cooperatively, always asking if she could research for more information or help a classmate. Her creativity was demonstrated in her underwater scene project in art. It was well constructed and painted with exciting colors. Jillian began the year in Spanish a bit shyer, but that changed quickly. She started showing much more progress and promise with all of her speaking activities in Spanish. Field hockey and lacrosse were Jillian's favorite PE units. Andrew Dixon. Andrew Dixon entered Bullis as a strong reader. His favorite writing unit was working with a partner to write an original mystery. Andrew was also a solid mathematician. He mastered multi-step problems and enjoyed large number estimations. Andrew engaged in all science activities, such as planting and caring for the Bullis Garden. Do you remember that? The Bullis Garden? And Locust Grove Nature Center. He researched and presented his independent study project on Israel. He engaged the class by incorporating personal connections during his presentation. Andrew began the year in art saying he couldn't draw. However, this changed quickly as he saw his skills develop. Andrew brought positive attitude and a lot of energy to PE. He was a great team player who cooperated well with his classmates. Ava Drescher. Ava entered Bullis bubbly and cheerfully each day. She was a good reader, however, needed consistent reminders to read at home each night. She found her poetry voice during our poetry unit. Ava wrote many beautiful poetry pieces. She made steady progress in math and excelled in the fraction and algebra units. Ava used the engineering design process in science to create a sound system representing the pitch, volume, and duration of a birdsong. She confidently presented her independent social studies project on Ireland to the class. Ava skillfully created a painting of blueberries in art after mixing the perfect blue color. In music class, Ava giggled and exclaimed how much fun it was to make a set of steel drums out of cans and play them. In PE, Ava was a good teammate who often volunteered to help with the equipment. Julia Evans. Julia came to school each day with joy written all over her. She exceeded benchmarks in reading. Julia challenged herself with complex novels for her independent reading books and her book club group books. In the poetry unit, Julia demonstrated how to view the world through the eyes of a poet to create many exciting pieces. Julia did well with geometry concepts and especially line segments and angles. She gave 100% to her work with sustainability and the environment in her science projects. Julia worked well independently and cooperatively in social studies. Her project on Cambodia was outstanding. Julia's music teacher noted that she played very well on the xylophone and sang with a strong singing voice. She enjoyed singing and dancing to the Hola song in Spanish. In PE, Julia was known to bring enthusiasm and energy to each class. Demi Fragianis. Well, where do I start with Demi? Well, our first connection was with our favorite food, lollipop lamb chops. Our second connection was that I don't look like a witch. She called me a witch. As a reader, Demi didn't like to read unless there were humor in the text. Eventually, she was bitten by the reading bug and learned to enjoy reading and do her reading homework. Demi loved poetry. She wrote many interesting pieces with excellent word choices. Demi made tremendous progress in math. I had to keep telling her, you may not know you love math, but you're showing it. In science, Demi was the lead gardener, which did a lot of the weeding in the Bullis garden. She loved helping with the Bullis garden. For her independent social studies project, she presented interesting facts about France. Demi even brought in macaroon cream puffs. That was sweet. In art and music, sometimes Demi's enthusiasm and joy would need some redirection and focus. Once focused, she put forth her best effort. Demi enjoyed Spanish, and especially the Froggy books. Although Demi needed frequent reminders not to hold conversations when the teacher was talking, Demi was a good team player in PE and demonstrated good athletic skills. Robbie Hayes. Well, Robbie, who would have thought that you and I would be in this place and space together again? Robbie grew so much in third grade. I can't tell you how often I had to give him a pep talk about putting on his armor to protect his feelings when there were friendship challenges. He totally understood the step forward with kindness motto in my classroom. Thanks to Robbie, I also know more about high-end cars than I ever thought I would. Academically, Robbie was a solid student whose favorite word was why. Why? He was a very sharp student, and his unique sense of humor made every day interesting. And by the way, congratulations on Georgia Tech. I am so relieved that you didn't have to settle for Clemson as you predicted in third grade. Robbie demonstrated genuine curiosity and fascination with number patterns and relationships in math. He just needed to slow down for accuracy. Robbie enjoyed the hands-on experiments in science and using the engineering design process. He did an outstanding job on his independent social studies project on Russia. Robbie was known to be a leader in the Blue Band. And one last shout out to Grandma and Granddad. I'm gonna miss you. Billy Helmig. Billy, I still remember our first meeting. Mom was helping you get your desk organized and explaining that keeping organized and focused was something you were working on. Thanks for the heads up, Claudia. In the 3rd grade year, also, Charlotte and I became best friends every time I called home to talk to Mom and Dad. And then there was Lely. Lely and I bonded after she decided to stay after the event to spend the whole day on Grandparents' and Special Friends Day to keep me company. Billy was such a happy student. Nothing, and I mean nothing, fazed him. He rolled with everything, sometimes bulldozed everything. He grew as a reader once he figured out that it was not a choice, but a must to read. Billy liked poetry. He used his vocabulary toolbox to make excellent word choices. Math was a real strength for Billy. Billy enjoyed experimenting with rocks and minerals, and he actively participated. Billy's independent social studies project was about Canada. He presented his research well and was proud of his hard work. Billy produced an excellent drawing of a candy bowl in art as he put his best forward with his effort. His music teacher noted that Billy had an incredible singing voice and sang out eagerly in class. He was an enthusiastic and cooperative member of the PE class. Sebastian Michail. Sebastian was a good reader. He enjoyed historical fiction and posed many insightful questions. Sebastian became a poet in 3rd grade, using music, art, and tactile experiences to channel his creativity as a writer. He was a strong math student who preferred mental math so he could compute quickly. Sebastian had flexible thinking as a math student and demonstrated excellent number sense. He used the design process in science to represent a sound system using 3-dimensional objects. He enjoyed presenting his independent social studies project on Taiwan. His instrumental teacher applauded Sebastian for his excellent work learning the French horn. He sang his solo well in Comfort Cafe and liked singing coquille in Spanish class. Sebastian had boundless energy, which provided for positives in PE class. Cali, Satin. Cali joined 3rd grade as an eager student and friend. He was a strong advocate for animals and the creatures around us. Cali loved to tell the class about the tales of Stormy and Griffin, the family guinea pigs. Sometimes these stories became writing pieces in which he used personal ideas that he was passionate about to enrich his stories. Cali also found the poetry unit fun and rewarding. As a mathematician, Cali found patterns and relationships among math concepts. He had a natural curiosity about the environment and was passionate when discussing the problems concerning pollution and offering many solutions. Cali's independent social studies project on Peru was well researched and presented, including playing the Peruvian anthem. Cali was a talented artist and musician. It was noted his solo in the third grade musical was exceptional. He put a lot of time and detail into his Spanish projects. Cali was a great teammate and always participated to his fullest in PE. Lifers, may you find the same joy you felt and shared in third grade as you prepare to go forward into the world to do great things. I charge you to do great things and, as Miss Rumphius would say, do something to make our world a more beautiful place. Also remember that when things start not to go as you would like or have planned, you know you have the skills and character to succeed. Bullis community, please join me to celebrate these 11 lifers and to wish the best of luck to the entire class of 2022.